I got 1000 subscribers in just 30 days with only 8 videos. Honestly, I should have gotten 3 times more subs because I made some big mistakes. I've learned some key lessons about getting subscribers fast, but I will share the most surprising one and incredibly effective at the end. First, I want to be honest because I got 1000 subscribers with just 7 videos. Not 8 because I don't count the YouTube short, didn't get any subscribers. But I made some big mistakes because back then my subscribe ratio was bad. Really bad. I only got 499 subscribers from this video with 81,000 views. That's only a sub ratio of 0.6%. Remember that number. Fortunately, I've learned what not to do since then and what to do to get subscribe ratios of 2% and above. Like this recent video got me a sub ratio of 2.27%. So far, which may raise the question, how the hell did I go from 0.5% sub ratios to above 2%? Effectively getting 4 to 5 times the number of subscribers. Meaning you don't need 250,000 views to get 1000 subs, but only 50,000 views to get monetized. Now before I explain, know that my insane click-through rates of sometimes 20% played a big role. So download my free thumbnail pack to create thumbnails like this, and this in minutes for free. Click the link below at the end of the video. But first, I just spent hours studying my best and worst videos from a sub ratio perspective, in hopes I can get to a 3% sub ratio soon. Now you may ask, why do you care about getting 3% sub ratio if you're already monetized? Well, for so many reasons. A higher sub ratio is one of the best indicators of a quality video, quality audience, future income, and trust. And that last one is so hard to measure, but trust is more important than ever. I mean, they call it the trust economy for a reason, right? I trust fewer creators than ever. For some reason because they're using AI. For most because they're just regurgitating bullshit. And I care about truth. And the truth is that a higher sub ratio to most channels means the following. Your future videos will get a higher baseline view count. For example, if you have 100 subs, maybe you get like 5 views in the first 24 hours. But if you have 10,000 subs, you maybe get 500 views within the first 24 hours. To make this more clear, if you can increase your sub ratio and thus you get more subscribers, you could go from 45 views per video to a consistently minimum of 4,500 views per video. Now there are 4 more reasons why I care about increasing my sub ratio across my channels, but I leave those for another time because I want to share 2 key insights that I got after my increase from sub ratios from 0.4% to over 2%. First, I found a consistent pattern among my lowest sub ratio videos. They all had one thing in common. I was using a famous person in the title, thumbnail, and often throughout the video. I was basically giving commentary, like almost reacting, reviewing, or analyzing someone else. And while those videos often got good views, as you can see here, they didn't build much connection with me, the creator, even though I showed my face in the videos. They didn't position me as the source of value, just a middleman, like a dropshipper with an opinion. And it makes sense, right? Viewers came for the famous person, not for me. So when the video ends, most of them leave, less subscribe, because they got what they came for and it wasn't me. Now to be clear, I'm not saying you should never use famous people. In fact, if you run faceless channels, or at least not a personal brand like me, they can give you views like this. But if you have a personal brand like me and still want more views, maybe use many authorities within your niche, in your video, in service of your message, like as supporting evidence, as proof or opinion, not as the main character, if you care about 2% sub ratios rather than 5 times less. Which brings me to the most surprising but incredibly effective way how I got my highest sub ratios. A consistent pattern that I found of some of my top 30 videos out of those 600 uploads was that I used scientific studies, real experiments, data, evidence within my video. And I didn't just quote the experiment. I actually read the research myself before I made the video. I understood the context I wanted to know and I explained it like a human. I think people notice that because when you take the time to deeply understand something and then translate it clearly, I suspect it shows the viewer this guy isn't just here for the clicks. He's here for truth. And that's rare, at least in my experience. So yeah, turns out the most effective way to grow your subscribers on YouTube is to give a damn. To do your homework, to stand for truth. At least that's what got me from 0.4% to over 2% and now aiming for 3%. Because in the long run, trust compounds. And I think sub ratios are a very close reflection of that. If you care about truth and truthful YouTube advice, you may read my free emails. You receive them when you get my free thumbnail pack or my Google Sheet with over 70 free YouTube tools, all unsponsored, not affiliated. Just a list of free tools that I wish I had before my business had over $5 million in costs. And if there's one YouTube setting that I wish someone warned me about, it is this setting. I lost a lot of views and money because of it. I talk about it in this video. Watch it here or not. Talk soon.